Hi everyone, and welcome to another edition of Fun Food and Travel. I'm your host Erwin, and this is my girlfriend Jennifer. And today we're in the 605 South Dakota, the 40th state admitted to the Union. Located 23 miles southwest of Rapid City, just 30 minutes west of Interstate 16, at 5,500 feet above sea level, is the breathtaking, heart-stopping, awesome homage to four of the country's most prominent CEOs ever elected to the highest office. Natural-born leaders in their own right, whether heads of state, generals of an army, or visionaries of change, behind me were rebels with a cause to disrupt the status quo and spark a revolution. When talks of diplomacy fell on deaf ears, their cries for freedom would not yield in a land fertile with promises of a new future. Expats taxed without representation, banded together to mount an unstoppable force that would overthrow their crown. Minutemen at the ready armed themselves with 3.5-foot black powdered muskets. They charged with their fixed bayonets and shed blood in the name of democracy. Quails, plunged in ink, struck at the hearts of ordinary citizens who died for what they believed was intended to be bestowed upon all men. They fled their homelands only to war with their brethren, like Cain and Abel, and rest their laurels in the Garden of Eden. The stars and stripes would prevail over Jackson crosses and revel in sweet liberty. Scaled up to size, should my head resemble each president's, my body would have to stretch 465 feet. To put that into perspective, each cranium is 6 stories high, and anyone wanting to have their faces on the side of a mountain quadruple would have had to cough up $989,992.32 in 1927. Considered an unfinished work, much like the Mona Lisa, Gustav Borglum, the visionary behind this granite masterpiece, intended the historical figures to be etched from their heads down to their waists. With 400 workers carving for 14 years, the project came to a halt in 1941 due to insufficient funds. Goodson also headed the Confederate Memorial at Stone Mountain outside Atlanta, Georgia, but failed to see the project to completion due to a financial disagreement with the United Daughters of the Confederacy. Birth, growth, development, preservation. George Washington, first president, founding father, Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army, and battle-tested veteran of the American Revolutionary War. T.J. POTUS III, primary wordsmith of the Declaration of Independence and real estate mogul, expanded the length and breadth of the United States when he purchased the Louisiana Territory from France, doubling the size of the country, which would later be divided into 15 additional states. Honest Abe, 16th president, during the most trying time in our nation's history, when the night was darkest and the country in ruin, he believed the true victims of discord would not yield until all citizens were liberated from prejudice. Teddy Roosevelt, the 26th president, allowed for the construction of the Panama Canal, which serves as an expressway for cargo ships transporting goods between the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean. Teddy also acquired the Philippines, Guam, and Puerto Rico after the Spanish-American War in 1898. The Philippines was local, serving as a fueling station for the Navy and a port of trade with neighboring China. The Philippines would remain a U.S. territory until 1946. It was Dwayne Robinson who came up with the idea to boost tourism to the Black Hills prior to the Great Depression. The area was known as Arnie National Forest Preserve, and the original location was not Mount Rushmore, but the thin, eroded rock formations popular with tourists in Custer State Park, known as the Needles. Because Mount Rushmore towered over mountains and faced southeast, this allowed for an abundance of light, making it visible as far as the eye could see. The granite was very durable, able to withstand thousands of years of wind and rain. Demolition began on October 4, 1927, and every layer that did not represent Gustav Borglum's vision was blown away to smithereens. Dynamite reduced earth to rubble until 3 to 6 inches of granite remained. This layer was then drilled in a practice called honeycombing, crumbling pieces and discarding them by hand. Once the correct depth was achieved, bumper tools polished granite, creating a surface similar to a sidewalk. George Washington's head was first, Thomas Jefferson's was second. Jefferson's was initially to Washington's right, but after 2 years, the granite was so badly cracked, the decision was made to blow the third president's face off the side of the mountain and start again, this time to Washington's left. Thanks again for joining us in another edition of Fun Food and Travel. I'm your host, Erwin. This is my girlfriend, Jennifer. Until next time, bye.